awkward milli rock just to get it going. This is what
in jail.
Yeah. Okay, and yes, guys, welcome back to the podcast. As per usual, I'm joined with Reece, but we actually have a very special guest this week. It's our first ever podcast interview. You know what? I'm not even going to introduce him. I'm going to let the man himself introduce himself, what he does, and just everything about him. So take the floor, mate. Take the floor.
Nice to up, everyone. It is your boy Chae Green. I run a channel called WBW, or White Butterfly Wing Productions. Been doing it for just a few months now, just getting started really, and thankful to be talking to you guys today and doing this collaboration. I've been looking forward to it.
We're glad to have you on. We've been looking forward to it as well. Like when me and Reece spoke about it at the start of the year, we wanted to do interviews on the podcast as well, and one of the first people I wanted to do, because obviously you're starting out like I am, was yourself, because it was like we want to not just build a connection but also help other people as well.
I love that.
But for only doing it a few months, you're doing well. Like I remember, like when I started, it was very hard to gain subscribers, and you're sat, as of when we're recording, on 54 at the moment. Hopefully that will go up.
54? I thought it was done like 52.
Oh, get in, there you go. I think I subscribed earlier today.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
And you've had some, for the channel size, quite big views. Like one of your most views videos on over 670 odd views. A couple of us sitting in the 200 to 300 mark. How have you found that? Because obviously the YouTube algorithm is quite a difficult one to get around and get the right sort of stuff in and get those clicks through. Like I know it, and you probably know it as well, as one of our mates does, Charlie. Like Charlie does lots of videos. We'll have him on at some point, and he's spoke to us about the struggle when he started getting the views in. So have you found that struggle, or has it sort of come quite well for you?
I have found it a struggle, to be quite honest with you, because I compare myself a lot to other YouTubers out there. And there's quite a famous family who had a goal of getting 1,000 subscribers in their first year, and they shot up to 300,000 within the year. So I found it a struggle because I'm not on that level. But then, of course, like everything, it takes time and just kind of really looking at the analytics of what's going on in the video. You know, how many times are people looking at it but just not wanting to click on it? So I kind of, every video I try and do something new. I try and bring something new to the table, which would then help bring people to watch it. And I spam everyone. I think, as you probably know, Connor, my Facebook the second a video is up.
I do the same. It's like Reece is in 3 different group chats with me, and each group chat will get a message, and pretty much everyone in that message will get a private message about the video. You got to get it out there. You got to get it seen.
That's how I know it's up. That's
That's
how I find out it's up. I'm like, oh, brilliant.
Exactly. But it's important.
Cheers for having the notification bell on, Reece.
Oh my God.
Caught you out.
I've been baited, bro.
You're naughty.
Oh no. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it is a struggle. So obviously, like as you said, you compare yourself to other YouTubers and stuff like that. But as I said, you've grown quite quickly in a few months, because it took me, I think, 4 months to hit 50 subs, and then since January I've gone up from 54 to 85. It can literally go like that off of 1 or 2 videos. And obviously hopefully that happens with you as well. With videos that you do quite wholesome family content. We're a bit edgy over here, if you couldn't tell.
You just called us edgy. I'm walking out.
See you later, mate.
I'm just different.
I kind of, when I started my YouTube, I wanted to create something which would bring in a lot of people from all different realms. I think with COVID and everything that's been going on over the past year or so, there's always negativity. Every time I turn on the TV, there's negativity. At 6:30 in the morning, you turn on the TV, you've got Good Morning Britain on, and all they're talking about is COVID, the death tolls, and the amount that, what's going on in politics world, the EU, everything that you can imagine. So I just thought, I need a bit of escapism. I'm sure there's other people out there that need a bit of escapism as well. So let's try and bring it to them. Let's be as positive and upbeat as we can, do some fun things, silly things. And yeah, I like to talk about serious things at times, but hopefully that's to just help bring a different perspective to situations.
Exactly. And that I think's a very good way to look at it. And like, I really enjoy a lot of your videos. Like, we've both done a very similar video in the world's hottest chili. You've gone and done some of the worst, and you did a video on the worst and best calves, some weird food combinations as well as other challenges. One of my questions to you is do you struggle with, especially with everything going on? Because I know I have struggle with ideas for videos.
I don't think it's necessarily the ideas I struggle with. What I struggle with is the execution. I believe that you can potentially, if it's just you can pretty much get any video out there which is COVID safe, as long as you're just following the guidelines and the rules. Obviously, ones which you can't do, which I'm really gutted about, is my traveling playlist. I haven't been able to update that in quite some time. So I think the execution of doing it is probably the hardest bit, and trying to figure out ways how you can do it without breaking the COVID rules. So, for instance, collaborations and I've got so many challenge ideas I want to do, but I need someone next to me to do it with me. So I'm just trying to figure out ways to overcome that. I think one of the most difficult things is to try and create something original in that sense of if the bandwagon's already there, I don't want to jump on it. I want to kind of be one of the first 3 or 4 people which jump onto this bandwagon, which is difficult because by the time you see something, it's been shared 20,000 times. Exactly. So it's just trying to stay relevant. I think that's probably the hardest bit as well. I don't want to do something which people have been doing for the past 20 years. I want to do something which has been happening for the past 6-7 months.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. And that's something that, like, you have to be very quick on that bandwagon to make that first jump in big subscriber totals anyway, subscriber gain anyway. Like, I forgot what I was going to say now. You can tell I'm professional, as always. Like, it is getting there first. So there's one trick that I have done, and I know a few people have done, which is searching keywords into YouTube and see what pops up.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, do you have anything like that you do to be able to find a video idea or something that will help you, or a video that you want to do?
So I don't necessarily look for keywords straight away. What I tend to do is go onto YouTube Discovery, Instagram, TikTok, all these different things, and just see what's been happening, see what's starting to trend as such. And then I'll think about it for a while and see, okay, how can I put that into my own twist? And I'll spend a little bit of time, me and my partner will sit down and we'll brainstorm a few ideas. Like, oh, this might be good, this might be good. And we just develop the idea as it goes through, really. When I do keywords and things like that, I use that really to help me with the search engine optimization. There's different apps you can get. So I use vidIQ to help with that, which is really good, gives you some really good insights, and it integrates with YouTube quite nicely. Another one I try and do is session times. So as you may know, you can get watch times, and that helps obviously boost the algorithm, but you've also got session time, which would help boost the algorithm as well. So I'll do things such as put in my comments as a pinned comment for another link to another video, or things like that. And I just have a play around. I just have a play around and look at it and go, that didn't work this week, I'm not going to do that again.
One video I really liked was your how to become independent when you move out, because I'm in my 4th different year of being a student, so I'm not really counting that as having moved out, because I know that when I'm done I'll just move back home. So it's sort of, that meal planning one, I think that was your first piece of advice, was meal plan. Earlier today I ate my lunch and then thought, I don't have any food for dinner. and I was like, oh,
brilliant.
That's just really hammered it home. I'm such a tit. And this is my 4th year of, being a university student, and I'm still useless. That just really hit it home. Yeah. So what made you think, oh, I'm going to do that video, 5 months ago when you brought it out?
Because, well, first of all, thank you for watching the video, and I'm glad that you kind of found it beneficial. This is type of stuff which I'm hoping to get across to most of my audience members, is some sort of benefit. I think that one, I was just sitting there and I was just thinking, what did I want to know before I moved out? I was just kind of sitting there thinking, we had just moved into this place not too long. I was like, what is it that I would have wanted to have known moving in? Because it's so easy. I think we all do it. We don't listen to our parents. It's as simple as that. Your parents, you know, you need to meal plan, go wash your clothes, go and make sure your room's tidy every day. You don't listen to your parents. It's them just nagging. But when I stepped into this place, me and my partner, it was just like, wow, okay, I have got to do this, because you know what? After 3 days, I've realised that the fairies, i.e. the parents, don't come round and start picking everything up behind me. So yeah, it was just kind of really looking at my life and looking at my experiences, and you know what I probably would have done differently if I was given the chance.
That's very good
like close the windows before you go on holiday.
Yeah, like close the windows before you go on holiday.
It's a decent piece of advice. I'll take that one.
I mean, you don't want to get robbed, but let alone a pigeon.
Don't know what's worse, you know.
I don't know.
Just saying, the pigeon has squatters' rights now. That's all I'm saying.
Do you know what? I was this close to not being able to kick the pigeon out. I was this close. It just started laying its nest, but thankfully it didn't lay any eggs. So because it hadn't laid any eggs, it flew out naturally by itself anyway. And yeah, spent 6 hours the next day.
Jesus. You right there, Con, having a wrestle with the dog?
Yeah, he was so interested in the podcast. He walked out, then came back in and was like, I want to be involved now.
He always wants to be involved. Had an important member of the team.
Dogs are members of the family.
He's had a proper attitude because I've been home all the time now. He's like, can you just leave? Please, go somewhere, anywhere.
It sounds like my missus.
I'm pretty sure my missus is saying the same thing as well. One of my questions was going to be to you. Obviously, you started YouTube 6-7 months ago now. What was what YouTuber stood out and made you go, I want to start doing YouTube videos?
Well, that's a really good question. I think we've kind of been in that generation where YouTube's been around for pretty much most of our teenage to adult life now. So it's difficult to say who's really inspired me initially, because I've always had an idea to do YouTube. I've just never had the guts to put myself out on camera and to watch myself back. I think more recently, though, it become more of a... it's going to sound really bad. It become more of a financial decision. I thought, looking at what these guys do, you know, the big YouTubers such as KSI, for instance, and Dads versus Girls, is they get to have so much fun, and yet they get to have these nice big houses. They get to have these cars and things like that. And I wasn't certain if the 9 to 5 was for me, and I was kind of thinking, you know, the 9 to 5 isn't for me. I've realised that now. It's not necessarily my game, and that I would much prefer to be in a creative realm where I get to have fun, make a good bit of money on the side, meet people from all around the world, travel all around the world. And I watched this video of this young chap, 24, 25, I think he was, when I watched it. He started YouTube when he was 13. 7 years later, no, he must have been a bit later than 13, obviously. 7 years later. But 7 years later, he was buying his first ever, well, I'll say first ever house, but he was buying a £10 million house over in America. I was like, why can't I do that? So I set out on a journey to do that.
And you got to start somewhere, and it's good to take those sort of like inspiration from others. It's like, I know a big factor for me was obviously the Sidemen, KSI, that lot. But podcast wise was Joe Rogan and True Geordie.
Yeah.
And obviously that later on, once I got into Jack Makes Happy Hour, I had this, as you may remember from school, and as Reece will probably tell everyone, I can talk for fucking ages about nonsense.
Football mainly, I remember.
Yeah. I don't do that anymore now. Arsenal are crap.
Got no bragging rights.
Oh, don't get me started on that. No.
Let's not do this today. And you see where they are as like creators and stuff like that, and you go, they had to start somewhere. I was listening to Eddie Hearn, ironically, talk about the first time he spoke to KSI about coming up. He turned around and went, "Well, I scored this really good goal on FIFA," and then my mate went, "Oh, I'll put it on YouTube," and I did, and it worked, and it went from there. It's there like all it takes is that one little thing to switch it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think time as well. Time is a very important factor. The reason I say that is because you mentioned a video which I have. It's a video where I went to London and travelled London. That got 600 and something. I think 670 odd views now.
679 I've got.
Yeah, that's the
679.
stats man Connor there.
And but that's taken, when I first put that up in the first month, I think I only had about 30-40 views. But each month and every 48 hours, I have a look at the analytics, and I'm getting 10 views maybe within 2 days worth of space. But that starts to add up, and then within a year's time, hopefully that's sitting at about 2K, 3K, 4K. So time will help you get there as well. I think that's a thing with a lot of people, is that they become impatient when it comes to this stuff. You want it to happen now.
Yeah.
But you need to just let time happen. Get that one good video, try loads of different videos, and it will happen, I think, hopefully.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Will.
There's so much short-termism in the world, just generally, in all walks of life. And, that might be due to the digital age, like relationships and, obviously in football, like obviously Connor and I like to talk about, as you mentioned as well, like just everywhere. So it's, just patience, just chill out, man. Like you'll get there. Just stick with it.
I think
you're not going to get into success.
More a thing with our generation. I think we're always so uneasy, and growing up, it was kind of, you're filled up with these dreams that you can make money quickly, and that's what it appeared to look like. And you're so right with that, Reece, in terms of the digital age. It definitely makes things seem a lot easier than what they were. But at the same time, though, on the flip side to that, it does make things a lot easier, and doesn't make them seem so hard than what they may be made out to be. So it's difficult, but it's a fine balance that we're all trying to get, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There was a couple of video questions I wanted to ask.
Yeah, of course.
So one video that I watched, and like I watched it a couple of times because I've even tried to do it myself, was the ping pong ball challenge, where you're hitting it off of saucepan, and it looks like it took you like 3 or 4 days to film that. How difficult was that video to film and then go back through and edit and stuff like that?
That video, I think as you can see, my hairline's receding quite badly now. I think that video's probably got something to do with it. So this is one of them videos where I was just like, okay, it's been out for a while now, but it's it's sustained, and it's kind of been sustaining over the past year. So I thought, let's go and do it. And I thought, I was under the conclusion that, again, this impatience thing, that it's only going to take me 20 minutes, half an hour, I'll get 3 or 4 in, and that'll be it, game done. It took me over 48 hours altogether over the space of 2 weekends to get those. And I was trying to get to 10, but I was just like, it's probably going to take me a good month. And I mean, it's the patience you've got to have with the ball, because you hit it, and in one time it would be like, right, that's exactly where it's going to go. And you do it again, it's like, yes, that's exactly where it's going to go. So you move the other pan and it goes completely in the opposite direction. So it took hours and hours. I think most of it is just luck more than skill.
I know. What? Get out of it, you. Such a jealous dog.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Who wants to get involved?
Get out of it.
I think Hogan's got a question. Oh, for Christ's sake.
Go on. Yeah.
Well, I'll ask you a question then whilst Connor's beating up.
No, go for it.
So Connor and I both really like your top 5 UK drinks video.
Yes.
Which, it's quite a recent one of yours in terms of the overall life of the channel. And that's obviously not your first top 5 either. So I'm going to hit you with a 2-parter here. What made you come up with the top 5 UK drinks idea? And number 2, will you be doing any more top 5s? Because, Connor and I really enjoyed those.
Oh, yes. Thank you for the feedback. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Yes, I will be doing more top 5. It's just a matter of getting logistics sorted. I'm trying to get a few collaborations in to help with that going along. Essentially, what I want to do is try and do top 5 snacks from all over the world, different drinks from all over the world. So we'll try and get it done, but it's proven a bit more difficult than what I thought. But yeah, I think getting to that video again, it was just a case of I was bored one day, and me and my partner were sitting there going, "Nah, this is the best crisp you'll ever get. These are the best crisps you will ever get. Like, these are the best. Like, no, that's the best crisp." But then it was like, right, let's Google it. Let's see what is the top 5 UK snacks in the UK, and then that's what I used, and then that's how we went forward with
it. That's the thing. Those are how some of the best videos come about, where it's like it starts as a discussion and then it carries on and carries on and carries on. And then you actually do the video. Because there's a channel that your video reminded me of a lot, which is Food Wars, where you get like the UK version of something and the US version of something. Yeah, and they show you the difference in it. And it was like, there was literally the soft drinks one. I was like, I was going to message you about it, but I was drinking when I was watching it. And I was like, I'll message him in the morning, because if I message him now, it won't make sense. And never got round to messaging you. And I was saying, like, what you could do is if you were to do like a collaboration with, say, an American YouTuber, you go, okay, we'll pick one variant of soft drink, say Coca-Cola, and we'll say, these are the Cokes you get in the UK, and compare it to what they get in the US, sort of like style version of it.
That's a really good idea, actually, Connor. That is as a matter of fact, I'm just going to write that down 2 seconds. That is a brilliant idea.
I'm going to sit here and drink a bit of Rosie Lee while we go with it.
Oh, yeah, we never did our what we drinking bit that we do at the start. Yeah. We're distracted, weren't we?
Yeah. No, sorry. That is a fantastic idea, Connor. I was trying to do a collaboration with an American family. We ended up, it's a video I dropped a few days ago with the Norrington family. That was the original idea, was to get their snacks sent to me. I send my snacks to them, and then we could do a collaboration that way. But logistically, it was just finding it a bit difficult. So we're going to do it in the future. We just can't do it now. I'm interested as well to see what the best Canadian snacks are, because America and Canada are so close together. Yeah, they've got so many different versions and styles of things. So I'm really looking forward to doing those as well.
And that's the thing. When we get like American stuff over here, it's not how it should be, which is what irritates me. It's like we were going to, me and Will, who did Trying Random Foods Challenge on my channel, we were actually going to do Trying American Candy. And then we looked at it and just went, let's face it, it's just the English version of it, and it's not going to be as good. Sort of. So it might end up having to be part of when I go on holiday to America, just doing a video. Trying American candy in America.
Which wouldn't be a bad idea, to be fair. At least you have the American scenery around you. But I think it's one of those ones, especially whilst COVID's going on, if you want to get it out there, just like I literally hit up probably about 10 different families I could find, the first 10. Thankfully, the Norrington family were so up for doing it. They're really excited for doing it. And, I didn't get any responses back from anyone else, unfortunately. But I think it's just about, I think that's part of the community, isn't it? You have to just get yourself out there and really, I suppose in a way, be a bit egotistical, which I don't know, it's a bit counterintuitive.
That's definitely the thing. It's like, because I took myself off Twitter when I left college. So I'm talking about 6-7 years ago now, I think. Yeah, about 6 years ago. God, I'm getting old.
We are getting old.
Fuck.
Wow. I've known you for 11 years. That's
Oh my god.
I know. You remember my age?
Start getting grey hair soon. Oh, mine's going as well, mate. Don't worry. And I took myself off Twitter, and then like I started obviously streaming on Twitch and doing more YouTube stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll get a Twitter purely for the channel. And I don't know if you've ever had it, but where you don't get, not that you don't get responses, that the response that you get can be quite, not hateful, but quite nasty in a way. So I don't know if you, but I know certain people that have had it, and I've had it as well, where it's like you might pop a video like going, "Oh, done this video, can please everyone go and help check it out," or like I've been helping and sharing people's stuff, and they've been doing it with me, and you get that small percentage that will be like, "Why are you doing it? It's pointless. No one likes you." And it's there going, "No, cheers, mate." So that was going to be one of my questions. What have you ever had that? And if you have, how have you dealt with that side of YouTube? Because I know it is quite a big side of YouTube, is the negative comments.
So to be completely honest, I haven't yet experienced I've experienced dislikes on the videos, don't get me wrong, but I haven't experienced any trolling as such in the comments. I've seen it all my life really, because growing up in the digital age, that's all we know. One of the things which I think is so evident though is that us as humans, we're so focused on the negative of anything that happens. We are so focused on the negative. I mean, you know, we can take COVID as an example. Everyone's just focusing on the amount of deaths and this, that, the other. But, you know, look at what it's done for the environment. The environment's started to flourish because of the lockdown and things like that, you know, and there's positives to take. So I think if you ever do come across that stuff, it's to remain focused on the positive comments. And the thing with comments, if it's on your channel, you can delete them as well, and you can block that person. And I think that's what Piers Morgan does actually. He was saying it on Good Morning Britain. He experiences quite a lot of hate being who he is. He just blocks them one by one. As soon as he sees them, blocks them. And I think that's probably the way forward. You know, it's easy to get lost in it, and it's easy to believe everything that these people are saying. But what's this person doing? They're not making YouTube, so how on earth could they sit there and say that no one likes you? You know, clearly no one likes you.
Well, this is the thing. It's like I was listening to a few of the sort of like not big YouTubers, but I know some people who are like at 50k, 60k, stuff like that. And they're like, you can put out a banging video that can get 20, 30k views, loads of thumbs up, loads of great comments, but then there'll be one and it will stick with you. And I was like, and one guy was like, it got to a point where he turned comments off, just for a couple of weeks, just to like get rid of anyone saying anything. So that's why I asked you if you had come across anything like that. But thank God you obviously haven't.
For now, anyway. I've only got a small following, so I'd imagine that my followings are probably a lot more of my friends and family and things like that, rather than kind of people that I don't know in real life as such. So I definitely feel like that it's going to come. There's going to be a day when I definitely do get hit and bombarded left, right and centre if I do ever become big within YouTube or bigger within YouTube. But I think it's just about trying not. It's so easy for a human because it's instinctively it's what we do. You know, we focus on the negatives to move away from it and to keep ourselves safe. But yeah, you have to keep yourself safe by either turning off the comments, or by deleting them, or by just simply not reading the comments. Have someone else who isn't necessarily affiliated with the channel and isn't in any of the videos and can take an objective look at what's being said and just tell you all the good stuff. Put up the ego a bit more.
That's the thing. It was like I was gonna say is like the reason I brought it up was a lot of people want to see you reach a point and do well until you reach a certain point where they go, no, that's too far, sort of thing. If you get what I mean. Like we see it in every walk of life, where it's football, TV, whatever. There's someone that will purposely go for someone. But moving back into your videos, and one of obviously your most viewed video sitting on 679 views. It's a great start. Hopefully it carries on and absolutely bangs, because I've got a video that's coming up to close to 1,000. It's like when you start to see the numbers go up, you're there like, oh, it's gonna do it, it's gonna do it, it's gonna do it. And you're there going, and you start looking at the algorithm and going, okay, it could hit it on this day, but then if it gets a lot of traction, it will hit on it. It was he really did put a stranger in a straight jacket during COVID-19. Tell us about that video, man.
So that video, it was okay. It's crazy how this come about, and this is why I'm so thankful to be with the person I'm with, because she's such a spontaneous person. I love it. We were sitting down. I think it was just after the first lockdown ended, and we were just like, well, we want to get away. You know, we need to just kind of clear our heads for a bit. So we said, this was on Thursday. We said, why don't we go on holiday to Amsterdam tomorrow? And we will just fly out, have a weekend, and we'll come back the Sunday. And I was like, well, yeah, but I don't want to get stranded. If COVID-19 wasn't happening, I'll be all out. Yes, let's go, let's do it, let's get to Amsterdam. But I didn't want to get out there and get stranded. So we said, right, well, let's go to London and said them. So okay. So literally that evening, we sat down, booked the hotel, booked the train tickets, jumped on the train the next day, and then off we went to London. And it was just one of those really candid videos that we just kind of, every time we saw something, thought, oh, just put the camera up, as you probably would do when you're a normal tourist anyway. And then we just put all the different clips together, and there it was. It was nothing about that video which was planned, which is the most beautiful thing. Nothing about it did we sit down and go, we want to go over here and get this shot, go and get that shot over there. It was just, let's just see what we get up to. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. It was such a good weekend away actually for us.
I think that's why it's done so well, because it's so authentic, and people could tell what's genuine and authentic and what's not. And I think watching that, you can just tell that it's, the authenticity is there. I think I just used authentic like 3 times in one sentence, but you know you know what I mean. And like another thing about your channel as well is obviously like you get your partner involved. Like there's one from a few weeks ago, we did How Well Do I Know Her, which I think that was that was a good laugh as well. And it's really cute, and it's like building, it's like letting your audience get to know you, because I know that like in our podcast, like Connor, we talk about our own lives a bit as well, and it's nice to sort of build that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps build that relationship, doesn't it, between you and your viewers. And I think that the one thing which I found, and something which I've been trying to work on, is making it as much as authentic as I can. Using it again.
Yeah, great word.
Is being as authentic as I can. And I was sitting there thinking, well, I know that there's YouTubers, and I'll say YouTubers rather than just a YouTuber, who does this type of video. And there's YouTubers who do these type of videos. There's YouTubers that do travel videos, money videos. There's YouTubers that do car videos. Anything you can think of, there's a YouTuber out there doing it. So I was like, well, how do I become original within this world? It's a big, massive world out there. How do I become original in it? And I thought, well, just like I am in this real world that we're in, I'll just be me, essentially, and I'll put my own flavour and twist onto things, and I'll just try and keep continually trying to learn, trying to develop, trying to become better. So yeah, that's really my main focus, is being as authentic to me as I can when I'm putting them in the videos. And hopefully everyone can see a little glimmer into my life. I don't want everyone knowing everything, but hopefully they see a little glimmer into it, and see the type of person I am.
That's a very good question, and how you've answered it's brilliant. But there was a question I was going to start with that I've got written down. I've looked at it for the last 5-10 minutes, being like, why did I not ask this question to start with? Because I said to you I was going to do a question as sort of like a breakdown, which we're going to do with most guests that we get on, which is, this is a good insight for people to get to know you as well. What is your last meal? If you were on death row tomorrow and they sat you down, you can have a drink, and then whatever you want.
Do I get dessert with it as well? That's another question. I'm supposed to email you back.
That's an important question.
Reece, should we let them have a dessert?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
All right then. Thank you. So I think so. For me, I love Caribbean food. It's where my family, half my family, come from. So I love stewed chicken with fried rice. It has to be. I say it has to be. It's got to be a similar style to the way in which my nana cooks it. I love the way. Shout out to my nana and her cooking. So yeah, it will be stewed chicken with fried rice, macaroni pie, with some callaloo. And then for dessert, I would have salted caramel ice cream with as much Galaxy chocolate as you could throw at me. And on the side, I think I might have like a orange Fanta for a drink, just to help settle it.
Okay, now's the difficult bit. Me and Reece have got to rate that meal out of 10. I didn't tell Reece we were going to do this.
Oh, no.
And I chucked my nana into the situation. Put her in the firing line.
That's a strong meal, Reece.
That is a strong meal, And I rate how you a lot of people have been like, oh, I don't know. But you very quickly decided. I'd need to try your nana's cooking, but let's go in blind. I think, you know what? I love the sound of the Fanta as well. I miss Fanta. I used to have Fanta all the time when I worked at
Fanta
Dons.
Good.
You know what? The number that's coming to mind, like just gut, I'm going with an 8 out of 10. What about you?
I was saying 8 to 8.5.
I like that, guys. I think my nana would be proud of that as well.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Big up Chae's nan.
Reece, have you got any other questions?
Yeah, I think
I'd like to know.
Well, there was someone you wanted to ask. Another question that you've forgotten was we've both noticed as well that you're very good at video editing.
Yes.
And yeah. And we were wondering what you use and sort of how long does it take. I suppose obviously that varies from video to video, obviously, and how much footage there is to and all that. But generally, how long does it take you, and what do you use?
So I would say from recording to getting the video actually uploaded and onto YouTube, it can take me up to 6 to 8 hours, depending on the video worth of editing. So I try and record on Saturdays or Sundays. I like to have at least one day off in the week, but I don't do anything.
Yeah.
So I record on either all day, and then come the Monday, I will then get up at 5:30 in the morning, start editing by 7 o'clock, so I get 2 hours in the morning before I start my 9 to 5, and then I'll maybe do some in the evenings. And then my partner as well, she'll go in throughout the day and she'll do a few bits, to help polish it up. So altogether, I'll say 6 to 8 hours per video to get it start to finish. I currently use at the moment iMovies to edit all my stuff. I just fiddle with different things. I get very creative. I've been in a creative realm for quite a lot of my time in my life, and my fiance as well. She's very creative when it comes to certain things. So yeah, we do that. Currently though, we're looking at trying to source a different editor, not because I don't like iMovies or anything like that. It's just that I'm trying to do things that it just takes too long to do on iMovies, or it just can't do. So I'm just looking at kind of different ways and different things to use. But yeah, that's how I do it really. I record on my phone 90% of the time, and on the camera I've got as well, Nikon. But yeah, does that answer the question? I kind of felt like a ramble.
Yeah.
I didn't really get
No, definitely. Yeah.
No, that definitely answered it, because it obviously I know how much of a difficulty it can be when it comes to editing. Like we were speaking to our mate Chae the other day, and it took him hours to edit down a video that ended up being about a minute long, because he does like comedy sketches and stuff like that. And like, luckily when I do podcasts, I literally put the whole podcast, I don't edit it, I just put it there, put the rolling clip at the start, and just push it out and go, there you go, YouTube, have that. But when I go out and do a video, I might film for like 3 or 4 hours, and it will be like a 3 or 4 hour process editing. So I've tried different editing apps, like at the moment I'm just using Video Maker until I get my like computer set up and stuff like that. And trust me, it's because some of your edits most of your edits are absolutely class. So I was looking at them going, what on earth does he use? I need to know.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I just use bog standard iMovie. I even do the rough cuts on my phone. So if I can't bother to get up and go sit at the desk, I'll just use my phone. I'll just do rough cuts on my phone. So yeah, it takes a lot of time though, and that's I think another thing again with some people's. I look at certain people's content, and I'm just like, even people who've got, I'm talking 50,000 subscribers. I'm watching their videos, and I'm just thinking, how are you actually getting your views right now? Because, when I've put so much time and effort into it, and but everyone has different views and different things like watching, don't they? So.
Yeah, well, it's like I'm a massive fan of a YouTuber called Blue Van Man who goes around and does like he tests different foods or does like food tasters when something new comes out and does it as a video. But he does not edit at all. He literally puts his phone there, just goes, "You can sit there," and then puts the whole video up straight like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's on 120k, and I was like, I love this man because he's like in his 40s, 50s, Leicester fan, doesn't care like about anything in life. Like he's just there going, got a burger from Mackey's, I'm gonna eat it. You're gonna it will tell you what he thinks about it. He will do a proper food review on it, then uploads it, and he's there like, yeah,
that's it. But you know what? Though? I suppose that's their niche. I'm trying to be unique as me, so I suppose when I'm editing the video, I'm trying to figure out what would I like to watch if I was watching YouTube, and I think that's kind of how I get a lot of my ideas from when I'm editing, because kind of thinking, if I was watching this video, that's what I would like to see. So let's get that in there. But yeah, I think that guy's probably just found, and a few people like that have been good in finding a niche, maybe that we've all just overlooked, perhaps. Well, other than you, Connor, we've all just overlooked and just don't edit.
I love his content because it's so wholesome as well. He's just there going, okay, well, I've got this, and you're there just going, go on, Dave, tell me about it, mate. Tell me, Dave, tell me.
But do you find that when you're watching that video, do you find it's more like you're having a conversation with somebody and that you're just kind of getting a raw insight into what it is that they're doing? Yeah,
and it makes it even like, this is why I like podcasts so much. It makes you feel, even when you're listening, that you're involved in it. And it's like he might be sitting there in his van, like going to taste something, and then you've got his wife off camera. He goes, "Junie, baby, what do you think?" And she's there going, "It's spicy." You don't see it, but you just hear her talking to him and them having a conversation. You just sat there and just go, "This is beautiful. I love this."
That's it. Well, that's maybe their authenticity, and I love that. I am somebody, I have got a short attention span. I very quickly dip in and out of things. But yeah, that's why I like to have these quick cuts and things like that and different angles, and because I just think it gives it a bit of body for me.
It gives it body and gives it something like, especially when you're watching it as someone that's subscribed to you, you're watching it going, and you're not wondering like with some like this has been one of my problems with my videos because I'm going around with a handheld camera a lot of the time, especially if we go to an abandoned place. And then like I'll watch it back and go, I wish I had another camera to see what a different view was. Where on yours, because you film it at different angles, you go, okay, so this is what the shot looks like there. Especially like the ping pong videos are the perfect example. It's like there was different shots and you were like, okay, it's great that at one point you can see you sitting there and pinging it off, and then you can see it from an angle where how it's hitting and how it's bouncing and stuff like that. So it does make it like, okay, like you see everything.
Yeah. I think it depends on the type of video you're doing as well. Because I think if there's a Blue Van guy that you use an example, they have a video perhaps where you don't need to see everything that's going on. All you need to be able to do is listen to what it is. Because it's a review, you just listen to what it is that they're saying. Where I'm quite a visual person, that's how I deal with things. So that's how I make my stuff. It's just as visual as possible.
Now, I'm going to take you back a little bit. Just a little bit.
Go on. About
11 years ago. Okay. Obviously, we went to school together. We went to quite a nice school. I'm not going to say I was always amazing to be around. I know I wasn't. But I remember whenever I was around you, you were very creative and that made you stand out. So my question was to you, was YouTube always a goal, or was it something else that you wanted to do to be creative?
No, YouTube was never the goal. YouTube literally only became the goal, I think, August last year when I first ever put my video. And I mean, when I did my first video as well, I was standing in the park with my phone, just stopping the clip like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. It was at that point, I never really had a goal for YouTube. It was just let's just see where it goes. But as it's developed, the stronger that feeling has become to say, this is what I need to do. Before that, though, I don't know if you remember, but I used to be in a lot of productions with the school production. We was very fortunate in the director that we had. He was a professional director from the West End, and the shows we put on were at such a high standard. We were marched around like we was on West End. We even had West End stars come and work with us, and that's really where my creative journey began. And I wanted at that point to be an actor and to eventually get into Hollywood and kind of do all the Marvel films and things like that, just because I love watching them. And again, it's so visual, and I'm like, oh, that looks amazing. I want to be a part of that, and being the villain as well. I was always a villain in the musicals and productions I've done. But yeah, I just absolutely have been creative, I think, all my life. I wanted to be an actor for as young as I can remember. When I first started watching Harry Potter, that was the real, like, I want to be in Harry Potter, I want to be in High School Musical and all those different types of films. 15, you know, almost 20 years ago. So, but now, it's just kind of gone to a new creative realm.
And that's a good thing, because you've always, like, I remember, like, I haven't kept in touch with many people from school, so when I saw that you were doing YouTube as well, I was there like, it made sense to me that you were, because of how creative you used to be. Because, like, whenever there was something musical, dance related, anything creative, I always remember, like, you might remember the twins, Ollie and Will, they come to me and go, oh yeah, Chae's doing this, Chae's doing that with us, and I'd sit there and go, there isn't anything that you're not doing, because it was your passion, and it still is, which is, and it's so great that you're still doing it.
Thank you, man. I mean, I used to get told off a lot by teachers because I'll be in lesson reading my scripts. I used to get told off for that. I used to ask, because it's really, I'm not going to say that actually, because I might get him in a bit of trouble. But the director, he used to do me a few favours when it comes to lesson times and things like that. But so the teachers, they didn't like me. But yeah, I've always just had that passion for it. But the one thing I love about YouTube, which I suppose you don't get when you're acting, is absolute control over what you're putting out there and the way in which you could do things. Because being an actor, you get obviously a lot of autonomy on what you want to do, but it's, okay, can you go move over there now? And then once that happens, can you do this? And then you do that. But now it's, all right, this is how I want to do it. And a lot of my stuff, I just like to react. I don't even plan a lot of my stuff. So I'll just react to whatever's happening in front of me, which is beautiful, I think.
Yeah, that is that creative part of you. And it, as I said, from school, you could see it as part of you. Like, I was known as a little shit, but you were known as the creative one. I'd be the one sat in the back of the class just going, I'm fucking bored. But you were there, like, reading your scripts, making sure everything was right. Because even, like, I remember when we did, I can't remember if you did it the year that we did Rock Challenge and we did Charles Dickens. I think you might have.
No, I only did. I remember it happening. I was supposed to be in it, but then I pulled out last minute because I thought there was acting in it, and there was no acting. It was just all dance, so I pulled out. I wasn't a great dancer.
Don't worry, I did the exact same, but I didn't have the guts to go to the teachers and go, yeah, can I pull out? I just stopped showing up.
Ah, you're a snake, you know. Oh my days.
Oh, mate.
He is.
You're awful. You
I
know
was
what? What's
number 5, and I was just in the back. I was like, oh no.
I think you had that luxury though, Connor, being able to do that. I didn't have that luxury because a few hours later I had to be in another rehearsal with the exact same people doing something that I wanted to do. So you had a luxury.
I remember. I can't even remember the teacher's name. She walked out once, like, because they were like, oh, where's Connor? Where's Connor? She's walked outside and I'm playing football with the football team. We had training on the same day. And I was there like, I forgot.
Yeah. the old age excuse.
Yeah.
If our children watch this in 20 years' time, don't forget.
Right then. Well, Chae, what's the most, like, obviously you guys went to school together. What's like the most embarrassing memory of Connor? Like, you knew this was coming, Connor.
There was a lot.
And then he pulls a book out and just goes, which one?
Got a letter here somewhere.
Yeah.
No, there was a lot. Do you know what? I couldn't sit there and say there's any, because I was an embarrassing person myself. I embarrassed myself left, right, and centre. I was awarded the biggest flirt of the year come our prom, and so I think if anything, I was probably more embarrassing than what Connor was. I think the only thing for Connor, which he had a lot of embarrassing memories, probably for himself, was we all used to take the absolute piss out of him when it comes to his height, because he was I think other than there's him and one other guy, and they were just the shortest, running around with the little Nike draw bags just bopping up and down.
Yeah, me and Casey, it was always the same. It was just me and him. It was like, and the worst one is like when you're like getting to 13, 14, you're talking to girls, and one girl would just be like, yeah, but you're like 4 foot nothing. You're like, I'm a nice guy, leave me alone.
I do remember a few times, I think, where you was talking to girls or whatever, and I've walked past, I've said something to you, like take the mic, and then they said something, but it's just because like you talk to women, and they will end up looking like that at you, like really.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm not size this. I'm so sorry. I regret it now.
It's fine. Until I was in a relationship, I did it all the time. It would just be there, like I'd be stood in a nightclub going, "So yeah, where are you from?"
The good thing is, though, at least you can, duck a lot easier. If anyone was going to throw punches at you,
no bump in your head.
Mate, I remember one girl at school. I did have a bit of a dickhead side to me at school. I remember it very well, and I still say to this day, it's one of my best comebacks ever to someone calling me short. This girl was like, "I wouldn't date you. You're short." I was like, "Yeah, but you're like 6 foot. Go defend that corner." Like that, and she just looked at me like that. I was like, "Yes, it's a win."
Shin pads on.
Defend that corner.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Like I remember. Sorry, was it when I met Connor for the first time? We were like 16, 17, and funnily enough, we met on a football pitch. And I went. It was like something out of a flipping really bad sitcom. I went, "Oh, you're right. I'm the lanky lightweight," and you went, "I'm the aerial threat." And then
the best bit about that, I scored a header in that game.
Yes, I chipped it to you. I assisted you.
You played the ball, and I was like, "Come on."
I'm here.
Boys ever since.
Yeah. I've only got a couple of questions left. Reece, have you got any more questions for Chae?
I think I've exhausted all my questions, I just wanted to find out embarrassing things about you from your school. That was my main objective.
His height,
I knew it would be.
Anything you can get at him, mate. It would be his height. I think that's all and his drawstring bags. I think Connor always had a drawstring bag, which was, as he was walking, would knock the back of his legs like right where his knees were.
It was the drawstring JD bag, or
mate, small 2011.
Or that small Just Do It bag that I had.
Oh no!
Those Just Do It bags, they were everywhere, weren't they?
Mate, like our school was walking around smell of Lynx Africa with drawstring bags, Just Do It bags. It was, mate, our year was different.
Yo, you got spray.
That's what it was.
And there'd always be one guy in the corner, like after like PE or something, just going, "I've run out of Lynx. Anyone got something?" And someone passing me, it's just going, "Lynx chocolate, definitely."
Oh my gosh, Lynx chocolate! I forgot about that.
I think though, being at our school, I don't want to give away too much about where we went to school, but we had toilets in the classroom.
They were.
If anyone was in a toilet, so boys and girls had to share the same toilet. It was in the classroom because of the size of the classrooms, and everything. You walked out the toilet, there's 3 next to each other, and you walked out, and then there was just a hand basin in front, a big hand basin. But if you was in there for more than about 2 minutes, I think that was when your life may have probably taken a little downward hill for probably about a week.
Oh my days!
I remember because it was like we had like not up to 90 kids in a class, 3-hour lessons, stuff like that. Like we were like, and you'd get like the kid. There'd always be one kid you just hear the toilet flush, and everyone would just go like that. And you'd see like slow mo as they did it. Like, who are you?
Or all the toilets, because there was 90 of us in one class for like 3 hours. There were times where the toilets will all be occupied. So you'd have to go into a different lesson, go and
Oh
use
my
another
God.
toilet, just like sneak back out.
I've got one of the most embarrassing ones. I remember not long before we left school, I went and did. I can't remember what I went and did, but I think it was when we had like a lot of the people filming like certain classrooms. Certain people weren't allowed in those classrooms. One of them being me. I don't understand why, but we moved. I remember, and they were like, oh, "Okay, you can go back into your class now." I walk into the class, sit where my normal seat is, and I turn around, and it's all just year 11s, and I'm a year 9, sat there like.
Definitely in the wrong room.
And then you got to stand up at the front of the class because everyone's watching you walk in, stand up and go, "Wrong classroom," and walk back out with everyone just going, "Who's he?" Sorry, who's he?
I can imagine you got absolutely riddled.
Oh, mate, it's different gravy. I've only got one question left to ask you, but is there anything you want to promote before we end?
Yeah, so if you haven't already, then please make sure you go and subscribe to my channel and hit that ring-a-ding-ding button so you do not miss out on any videos. I'm trying to do videos at least once a week, circa between Wednesday and Friday. I haven't really got a set date in which I do post, if anyone was wondering. But if anyone is interested in a collaboration on any level, then please do just reach out to me on Instagram. That normally is the best way to get hold of me, and I will answer you back as soon as I can, and I am open to any ideas, any suggestions. But before you ask me your last question, Connor, I want to ask you a question, or both of you, Connor and Reece, if that's okay. If that's, I'm flipping the tables here.
Flipping the tables. I don't know where to start. Oh no.
The question I've got for you guys is, what's the biggest lessons you have learned so far in your time in doing YouTube?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry,
Reece,
bit of context behind it. Sorry, I don't want
to. I was going to nominate you to go first. Oh God damn it!
Sorry, guys. The only reason I asked this, and really and truly, it's just because I'm new to this, and I think sometimes like I know what I'm doing. I don't at all. So I'm always kind of looking for kind of where can I develop, what my developing points, what other people doing that I can learn from. So I think really for me, I just want to know an example perhaps of, you know, something which you didn't like doing and that you maybe regret doing, and the lesson you learned from that.
Oh, right. Okay, I've got one. Like the line, finding that line. I think Connor might agree with me here. There's that sort of line between like perfectionism and sort of that's good enough, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
you know, so don't be too much of a perfectionist, because you know that sort of ties into what you were saying earlier, Chae, about like the negativity and stuff. Like focus on what's good. You know, nothing's ever going to be perfect, so don't try and be a perfectionist. But at the same time, have high standards for what you're doing and take pride in it. And it's finding that line. Yeah, I think that's my answer. I think that's quite a good answer. I'll take that.
That's a brilliant answer. Thank you.
That is genuinely a brilliant answer, because me and you spoke about this loads of times, Reece. There must be about 30 videos I've recorded, and because it hasn't been to where I want it to be, I've just gone, nah, when it's easily good enough to post. So that's something I've tried to come over. My one is something I didn't do at the start, but I've only started doing since the beginning of this year, and it has helped me grow a lot more. And I guess you're already doing it, but getting more involved with the community. Because I was someone that sat there and just went, if it comes, it comes, whatnot. And I was like, I'll give it a go getting involved with the community. So I joined a couple of Twitter groups that are Twitch streamers, YouTubers, and whatnot. And then I've also started sharing other people's stuff, like what we've done. I've started trying to push not just myself but other people, and that's helped me grow from 54 subs on January the 1st, and we're now sat here, it's the 10th of Feb, and I'm on 85. So there has been a big jump since I started doing that. So that's one thing that I've learned to do, is go out there and get involved with the community as much as possible. But you've already started doing that, so that's a good thing for you, like getting involved and doing collaborations with other people. So the one thing I would say is always get involved with the people that subscribe. So if someone comments or whatnot, you probably do it anyway. But always hit them back, because that's how you'll get that engagement up. And as we know, like, to get the videos out into the algorithm, you need not just views, not just likes, but you need comments as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. I'm definitely going to take those on board, and I think what I need to do, Connor, is probably reach out a bit more than what I already am to people, because I flitter in and out of it once a week. I might, go in and out of it. But I appreciate that.
What I started doing at the beginning of January when I joined Twitter for the channel was I followed loads of small Twitch streamers and YouTubers. They followed me back, and then I also followed a load of promotion pages. Like, that will literally go, okay, here's your time to promote yourself, comment your links underneath. And it must have been 10, 15 days in a row where I might comment under about 5 or 6. But now I'll go through once every couple of days, comment on about 3 or 4 of them, and just post our link underneath to get people. And like, they've started sharing like the page a bit more and stuff like that, which has helped us get out there a lot more.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's wonderful. Thank you. I do appreciate it, and especially talking about not being perfect. I am a perfectionist. Well, I think I am a perfectionist anyway. I am like that, but I'll take that on board as well, just to leave it sometimes.
Yeah, no. That was a good mixture, actually, because Connor had like more sort of practical stuff there, and then I sort of came in with the deep, I don't know, philosophical.
Yeah. I can't even say the word. Yeah.
Reece is now the philosophical one out of us. But my last question to you, I definitely haven't stole this off of any podcast that I've ever listened to. How would you like to be remembered?
Oh. That is a brilliant question. How would I want to be remembered? I think I would definitely want to be remembered as somebody who put a smile on someone's face. I'd want to also be remembered as that person who made you feel safe and comfortable. Because, that's the type of people which I look up to in my life. Who do I feel safe around? Who do I feel comfortable? Who can I trust? And I feel like they're the people who I aspire to be more than anything else as well in life. I think I would also want to be remembered as a visionary and someone who's creative. I've already said creative, haven't I? But yeah, visionary and just looking towards the future and try and help build this world step by step, person by person, into a better place. I think that is a goal for me, is to try and leave this world better than what I came into it.
That is a brilliant answer, and you have been a brilliant first guest. And hopefully, once all this COVID is over, when we have the studio that we want to get, you can come on and we can do this again and properly.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
We can sit and go through and go, okay, this is where you were at your first time on the podcast at 54 subscribers. You've now come on 6 months to a year down the line, and you're at 2,000-3,000 subscribers.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. No, I'd really love to do this again, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love this. It's just like having a general chit chat, literally with some old friends.
Yeah. There you go. No, I've had a lot of fun doing it as well. It's been good to meet you, Chae, as well. Like,
good,
we haven't met before.
We've
got like a house on fire, haven't we? It's all been very nice, isn't it?
Definitely. Well, hopefully this is a start to a good YouTube relationship just a good relationship. It doesn't have to be just YouTube, does it? So a good relationship going forward, man. And hopefully we get to do so many videos going, because you have a lot of people, don't you, who work on your channel with you guys. So
yeah.
I would love to work with you all at some point, and we get something booked in the diaries, and you guys hop onto my channel as well.
Oh, definitely. We'll be on your channel. You'll be on this channel. We'll do everything we can.
Perfect.
But guys, thank you for watching the podcast. Please like, comment about anything you want to about this podcast. Comment us more guests you want us to see. Obviously, go subscribe to Chae. His link will be at the top of the description, as well as his Instagram page for his YouTube channel. And all we got to say is peace. But the last words are going to Chae. Chae, sign us out, my brother.
It's your boy Chae Green. Light it up. Yeah, yeah.
Peace.